My name's Cody. I'm from Ray Milton. I've been coming to Sandy Lake Wesleyan Church since I'm 6 years or so. Yeah, I've always lived around here, and I've been here, going to church here for all my life. When I was little, I went to Bible school here. Yeah, I wasn't even really thinking about baptism, but before my grandpa died. My grandpa passed away. That really made me just want to get closer to God, and that's just what really inspired me to do it. And I've always been close to God, but after that, that's really made me want to do this. Sean, he was the one there talking, and he's the one that really made me want to do it, just by the way he said things. Yeah, I was driving home at night, and I was just thinking about my grandpa a lot, and thought about my life with him, because I've always lived with him. When I was little, I grew up with him. I felt closer to God than I've ever had in the past year. It's really helped me a lot. It's made me happy and stronger just to be able to be close to God like this. Yeah, I'm becoming stronger. I face things more, and I'm always happy now. I'm always in a good mood now. It's made me change, be a better person. This will help me. I've just decided to do it now. And it's almost been a year, and I just wanted to do it soon. Yeah, today I'm getting baptized, and I'm really glad to be close to God now. I just want to thank Him for everything He's done for me, and now I can follow in His footsteps for as long as I live.
Hi, I'm Jen Iscat, and I've been coming to Sandy Lake Wesleyan it'll be going on 9 years. I was about 7 when I accepted Christ. I was raised in a Christian home. I was lucky, very blessed to have great Christian parents. When we moved to this church going into my freshman year of high school, and that was when my relationship with God took off more. When I graduated high school, I was led to Liberty University in Lynchburg, Virginia. By the end of my freshman year, I changed my major to kinesiology exercise science, which was a track towards physical therapy school. And that was just fun for me, and I knew that passion was different than any other passion I'd kind of had, and I really believe it's from God, that I love to study the human body. So what that meant was I was going to have to go to graduate school for another 3 years. My senior year, I started applying or thinking about graduate schools, and the one school I wanted to go to was Slippery Rock, and there's a school in Lynchburg where Liberty is called Lynchburg College, and they're just starting a physical therapy program. I decided to kind of start looking into it, and I go to an open house. I contact the head of the department, and he says, come to the open house. Just so many little doors opened even to apply. The application fee was waived. I kept saying, whatever's supposed to be is gonna be what God wants, and whatever happens is what He wants. I graduated in May and came back home still waiting to hear from Slippery Rock and this other school. Within 2 days, I was told from Slippery Rock that I was denied, and from this other school that I was denied. Only I was put on an alternative list at this other school. I decided I was okay with that and just kind of said, okay, God, I'm trusting you. Like, you know what you're doing. If I need a year off, okay. 3 days later, I get a call from the guy I had met at the open house, and he said, Jen, we have a spot. And he offered me a spot for the fall this year. Now, I'm planning on starting at Lynchburg College in the fall, and I'm scared, but I'm scared, but I also know that God promises us not to fear, because He's gonna take care of us. Now for me, getting baptized isn't just, oh, I'm baptized as a baby and I don't understand the meaning of it. Now baptism for me it's saying to me that I understand what it's like to have a relationship with God, and even as I go far away and new adventures, He's right there.
loving family, and I was in a happy situation, very supportive, very moral, but truly not Christian. They were religious, I guess. I was baptized as an infant, and I remember going to church every Easter Sunday. And I can remember being dropped off for VBS or for Sunday school, enough that I had an understanding of who Jesus was. But it was head knowledge, and I don't think it had really any impact on my life at all. I believed, like my family did, very rule-following person. You know, you grew up and you went to college and you graduated and you got a job you loved and you met a man and you fell in love and you got married and you lived happily ever after. I kind of always looked at myself as going down the highway of life in a little red wagon. And life was great, and suddenly the wheels came off the wagon. And that was with the birth of our daughter. When Tara came into our life, you know, this was going to be just the next step, and instead I was the biggest failure in the world. And I accepted that. I mean, there couldn't be anything wrong with my child, so there had to be something wrong with me. We went everywhere. We were trying to find answers, and it was did she hear well? She didn't talk. And she was still not talking at 3.5 and 4 years old. Speech therapy, hearing, all kinds of doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists, health, social worker type people, and we kept getting told there's nothing wrong with Tara, there's something wrong with you, there's something wrong with your marriage, you guys are not good parents. And this is not a happy place to live. We finally got the diagnosis. She was both aphasic and apraxic. They are both incredibly rare, and mathematically it's impossible for you to have both, but she does. Instead of telling us this is what's wrong and this is how we're going to fix this, they said she's one of a kind and there's nobody out there blazing a trail ahead of you. You are literally on your own. I looked down what I saw as a long, dark, black tunnel, no light at the end, and it was 50 years long, and I really didn't know how to get through the next 50 minutes. I thought about trying God, and I went to church, and I heard what I'd never heard before. I don't know whether I had new spiritual ears because I was at the bottom of the well, but I heard about a God that just didn't die for me. I knew about that, but a God that would have a personal relationship, who had a plan for my life and who would help me, and I desperately needed help. So it was very easy to say, yes, I want this God, and I accepted Christ. I wish I could tell you he changed Tara. He didn't, but he sure changed me. I think the biggest change I knew immediately was hope, that I was no longer alone. I had help, that he was going to do this with me. Tara was no longer a problem to be solved. She was a blessing. I wasn't a bad parent. I actually was his choice for her. For about the last 10 years, he's been nudging me about baptism. And I, very private, that's a very public thing, didn't want to do that. And I'd say, well, I've been baptized. I don't need to do this. So last spring, or this spring, I guess, it was Beth's Bible study with the women's group, and I was reading along one day, and right there in black and white is this nasty question. It said, what is it that God wants you to do, and you know he wants you to do it, that you refuse to do? And right across the bulletin board of my mind goes, baptism. I used to listen to people and they'd say, they'd have some great, glorious story, some big problem and overcome it, and I think, man, what a neat story. And I just got this really dull story. I just, nothing, and God said, oh yeah, all I had to do was give you a hand at that job. Wow. Yeah. I don't know that I would ever have come otherwise. I was quite happy with what was going on in my life and absolutely ignorant of my need. I finally have learned, I hope, that I want to be on the side of obedience, because that's always going to deepen your relationship, and it's always going to make you more at peace and full of joy and contentment. And so I'm going to do it.